Good evening, folks. Special video for you tonight. I just took my M2 in for service, had to get an oil change done, so this was the loaner that they gave me. They gave me an SUV and it was perfect. I can compare this BMW to the Tesla Model Y. This is a BMW X3 S-Drive 30i. S-Drive meaning single axle driving, so that means it's only a front wheel drive vehicle, where the Tesla Model Y is all wheel drive, but you can also get this in X-Drive, which is BMW's version of all-wheel drive, like Mercedes has 4MATIC, etc. So tonight we're going to take a look at these cars side by side. At the end of the video, I will take this for a drive so you can see some driving dynamics of it. But some base statistics for the X3. Starts at $43,000. This is a front-wheel drive model. Can get it an all-wheel drive. You can get it all the way up into an M model, the X3 M Competition and X4 M Competition, which are both sick cars. But tonight I just want to side by side, how do these cars compare? The first thing you're going to notice is this is the more traditional shape of an SUV, whereas this has the more of a coupe look to it. This being the most aerodynamic way you can build a car, that's why it's shaped that way. Again, Tesla trying to be as efficient as possible, where this is just more of a traditional shape. This has the 2-cylinder 4-liter engine at 248 horsepower. I'll talk to you more about how that drives once we're in the car actually driving. But yeah, like I said, you can get this up to over a 400 horsepower M performance engine. Take a look at the inside here. Pretty simple. This is just the black interior. I don't know if this is still called Dakota leather. The seats are comfortable. They're comfortable. They're not, I mean, comparing any seats to a Tesla seat's basically unfair. It's like, do you want to sit on clouds or do you want to sit on bricks? It's up to you. The seats are comfortable. They're nothing special though. And I also don't sit in these seats and I'm like, whoa, this is a luxury car. This feels really, really good. This feels like a 43. This feels like a BMW. This feels like a German luxury car. Almost rubbery. They seem very durable. There's no doubt they're durable. But like this center console, for example, I mean, this has to be rubber and very, very basic and plasticky once you get down into there. You do have the nice iDrive system. I don't know if this is iDrive. I don't know what system they're on anymore, so I do apologize for this is just a quick video. I haven't done a ton of research. I just have to take the car back and wanted to get this video out and show you a little bit about these cars side by side. You will see some things like this, the X embroidery, which is kind of cool around the car. I also noted it right here. It says X3 imprinted into the frame of the car, so little Easter eggs like that, but who really cares? It also does have a digital dash, which I'm really happy that BMW finally did that. It looks nice. This also looks excellent. I've always felt that BMW's iDrive, the way the screen sits up, looks perfect. It doesn't pop in and out, doesn't flop down. It just sits there perfectly. And this is nice as well. Pretty simple up front here. The question you have to ask yourself, though, is, okay, this starts at $43,000, but that's the beginning. That's with nothing in it. This, I got it for, I think, $52,900 because I got the upgraded wheels and I got the white interior. So the wheels are $2,000, the white interior is $1,000, $52,990. You look at this and you think to yourself, okay, this is going to constantly update. The depreciation is very, very tiny on Teslas right now. I think the reason for that is because there aren't a ton on the road and the demand is very high. I think eventually Teslas will possibly depreciate like a regular car, but that might not happen. It's tough to say. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because because the electric motors are rated for up to 500,000 miles. So because of all of that, I think that's why the Teslas don't depreciate like a normal car where, you know, at 100,000 miles, this car could be in trouble if it's not maintained properly. The maintenance on the Tesla is very little, as long as you're not taking it to superchargers constantly and abusing it like that. I think over time, this is going to depreciate a lot more. Also, the iDrive, you can't update it like you can the Tesla. This car is not going to get more efficient over time. The Tesla, with one of the updates recently, it got 15 more miles of range. It's really hard to say, okay, I'm going to get this car over this car, because the way that the Tesla enhances itself over time, I'm sure this isn't a $43,000 car. I'm sure it's optioned up to $45,000. You know, could be a $50,000 car. It's tough to say. But you're going to want to put some things on it. Maybe you're going to want X-Drive. Maybe you want the M40i or whatever the M version is of the car. So that's where you're going to run into, okay, now I'm at the price of a Tesla. My advice to you is, if you're looking to buy a Tesla, if you're driving under 200 miles a day and you're not in a totally remote area where there's no chargers or anything like that, get the Tesla, because you're going to be able to charge it. It's more efficient than internal combustion engine. What I mean by that is it uses its energy more efficiently. I always reference the video that Engineering Explained did, where he took his Model 3 on a 1,900 mile road trip and used the equivalent of 16 gallons of gas over that distance. So the car is very efficient in the way it uses its energy compared to this, which I think gets about 28 miles per gallon highway. The looks of the car, looks are always subjective to me. I think it's a good looking car, but it doesn't pop. These are decent wheels though, I will say that. Nice looking wheels. Some little, is this a real vent? We got real or fake? What do we got here? We do have a fake vent, but again, it's just not, I personally like the front. I like how the front looks with these aggressive grills. But then you look at the Tesla, I mean, the 20-inch wheels, it's totally different than any other car. That's kind of what it comes down to on the exterior for me. Also, the sloping, sleek back roof line here is just really adds to the sportiness of the Model Y, whereas the X3, again, just a basic SUV. I mean, I even look at this driving it around for $40,000, $43,000 plus tax. It's not that exciting. This, every time you get in it, it's very exciting. The throttle response is instantaneous. The handling is excellent because of the low center of gravity of the batteries, and the weight is all very low on the car. And this is just, you're hopping in another car that's going to heavily depreciate. It's just, and I don't want to take this like I'm hating on BMW. I own an M2. It's an amazing car. I'm just saying, if it came down to me spending my own money on this versus this, I feel like your money's going to go a lot further here, not only in the efficiency department, in the fun department. You want to enjoy what you're driving. You're spending, a lot of people, their car is the second largest investment they ever make in their life. Or purchase. It's a terrible investment. You should be enjoying what you're driving. No matter what it is, you should be enjoying it, and that's a huge part of the Tesla for me. Whereas this, yeah, you can say I own a BMW, and some people are like, oh, look, they're driving a BMW, but this is fun to drive. So yeah, people maybe at the end of the day, you're like, oh, they're driving a BMW. They think it's a more prestigious car. This, you're paying for it. You need to be having fun with it. That's where the Tesla wins. Night and day for me. It's not even remotely close. So yeah, it's a nice car, but I don't know, just the way the throttle response in this is so sharp. Some people say, well, okay, well, the Tesla has a lot of road noise. Well, you can see mine only has the single pane glass here. The newer Model Ys are having double pane glass. Some people have talked about an air suspension coming on the Model Y. That's not going to happen. It's going to be too much of a cost. It's going to add too much complication to the car. The air suspension's on the Model S, it's on the Model X, and that's where it's going to stay. It's on the more expensive models. It's just going to make these cars are supposed to be simple. These are supposed to be the cost-effective options. You know, the Model 3 starting at $37,900 is an expensive car. It's just where they're at with how much batteries cost and everything like that. So that's kind of a look of the exteriors of the vehicles. We're going to jump in the X3. I have to take it back to BMW and return it, and we'll do some driving dynamics. If you guys, check out my Model Y playlist. If this is your first video, you can check out the Model Y playlist. I've made a ton of videos on how that drives and road trips and all of that. So you can check that out. But let's hop in the BMW, take it back, and see what we think. One thing I do have to mention with BMW, I know I'm being hard on them right now, their service has been excellent. Every time I've taken my M2, I take it to Chapman BMW in Chandler, Arizona. They're excellent. They say, do you need a loaner? No problem. Here's a loaner. I haven't gone to Tesla service yet, and please do not write in the comments, oh, wait till Tesla does it. Guys, some of you guys get just wait. Like you get all excited over Tesla service. Like it's really bad. I haven't dealt with it yet. I'm going to deal with it, and I will make a video on it. I want to go in with a neutral mind. But BMW's service has been amazing. The driving dynamics, the first thing is the steering wheel is tilted this way. This car is misaligned for some reason, so the steering wheel is tilted this way. But sitting in here is nice, it's comfortable. Visibility in the X3 is much better than the Model Y. You can easily see out of your blind spots. This one does have the panoramic roof system, so that's very nice. There's a button right here. Oh, that's for, hold on. Oh, you have to slide it. And then there's this little protective sheet that comes over and covers the whole thing. You get the idea. I kind of want it to be open. It looks awesome. The digital dash is nice. The infotainment system is nice. Everything in here is well done. There's no doubt about that. And like I said, visibility is excellent. Also, the ride quality is better. I don't know, road noise, I think they're about the same, but the ride quality is nice in this thing. It's not as rough of a suspension. I do like that the Tesla has a sporty suspension, but at the same time, there's sometimes when you just want to cruise around, like it's much softer. It's tough for me to talk about how tight a suspension is because I drive an M2. I had a Focus ST. Before that, I had a Civic Si. So I've always had Jesus Christ. I've always had sporty suspensions. That light was like 2 seconds. I've always had sporty suspensions, so for me to complain about a suspension, it's tough, but after getting in this, and like even the curb to my driveway is very steep, so getting in this and the way it just absorbs those harsh bumps, or speed bumps or curbs on the road is way more luxurious in the BMW, which is why I'm also looking to get a more luxurious suspension setup for my Model Y. More to come on that. The ride quality, yes, it is softer. It's more what you would expect. I also don't want to be slamming on the harsh ride quality of the Tesla because, again, the seats are so comfortable that also absorbs a lot of that. Having a tighter suspension is going to let the car handle better. So, you know, if everything was done for a reason, maybe it is too tight. But again, for me, it's not a huge issue. I just say it's more comfortable in the X3. The X3 also has 3 different drive modes, along with, I guess you could call it a 4th, which is individual, where you can set everything to how you want it. It has Eco Pro, Comfort, and Sport. The only one I really care about is Sport. So I put it in Sport mode. And basically what that does is it adjusts the engine throttle response, it adjusts the transmission, makes the shifts a little more peppy, and it puts the steering into a sport mode, which Tesla can do too with Comfort, Standard, and Sport. But yeah, it just tightens up the steering just like it does in the Tesla. Tesla probably is a little heavier sport experience, and the Tesla steering wheel is a little thicker, so it has, I think, a better, more expensive feel to it. The BMW wheel is not bad. They're still very nice materials, but I personally like the Tesla wheel better. The nice thing about this, it does have paddle shifters. They feel to be, maybe, I think they're plastic, but they have like a rubber type of surfacing, like for what's facing you. So they feel very good. Again, using nice materials all around this car. The problem is these SUVs, these big German SUVs, they're heavy. They have these 4-cylinder motors, which I think are almost the same as what I had in my Focus ST. About 250 horsepower and about 270 foot-pounds of torque. What saves these German cars that have the 4-cylinder motors is the well-tuned transmissions, because they have peppy shifts, and you kind of forget that it has a 4-cylinder because it's constantly shifting and keeps that throttle as sharp as it can. It is somewhat of a letdown. I mean, 250 horsepower is not a slouch, but it's just the sound of the motor is kind of tinny, maybe not quite the experience you want when you're spending way over $40,000 for a car. Whereas in the Tesla, you have a car that performs for an extra $2,000, it performs almost as good as a Corvette. Well, a C6 Corvette, not the C8. That thing's a monster. Just crazy, the cars that you can beat off the line. 4.8 to 60 is what my Model Y does, because I don't have the performance boost. It's just crazy how that car accelerates, and for this to have 240 horsepower where I have 375 horsepower in the base model of a Tesla Model Y is pretty crazy. And again, those price ranges just coming close with a couple options on the BMW, that's what really makes you think. I know, and I don't mean to be like totally, I'm just bashing on the BMW, but truly, when you own a Tesla, when you drive a Tesla, anyone that's driven a Tesla, you realize how good it is. The issue would become if you take a ton of road trips and you need to be making time. The Tesla charging network is incredible. It's by far the best. That's a huge reason as to why you can confidently buy a Tesla, is because you know there will be a supercharger where you're going. With this, with a gas car, you can drive anywhere and you don't have to think about it. Where are we going? Here. Okay, you're gonna be there in 6 hours. With a Tesla, sometimes you have to charge here, and it can add an hour to a trip. It can add, if you're going a long distance, it could have 2-3 hours, who knows. You can go on Tesla's website and just map it out to see how much, you can pick the car you'll be driving, the Tesla you'll be driving, and then it'll tell you how much charge time you'll need at each supercharger. So you can plan that out. You can, before you buy a Tesla, you can decide, okay, is this going to work for me? So I don't want to drag on anymore in this video. Leave your comments below on what you think. Was I too harsh on the BMW? Did I not give it a fair shake in comparing it to the Tesla Model Y? Again, this was very rushed for me, so I couldn't, do all the research that I needed to. But I just wanted to get a look at them size-wise, side by side, the interior, driving dynamics, things like that, just to give you guys a comparison. I don't like to blindly review cars, and by that I mean I don't love Tesla to the point where there's nothing that can be better than it. Like, if I was driving the Porsche Macan, that might beat the Tesla in my opinion. If I was driving a Stelvio Quadrifoglio, that could possibly beat the Tesla Model Y. So there's a lot of cars out there. This just happens to be one. I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. If you're going to take $40,000 or $50,000 out of your bank or get a loan and spend it on a vehicle, could I confidently tell you that you should get a BMW X3? My answer is no. I think it's a nice car. I think it's well built. It's safe. It's efficient for an SUV. You have lots of visibility. You have this beautiful panoramic roof. And BMW service for me has been excellent. But comparing it to the Tesla Model Y, the Tesla takes the win. Thank you for watching the video. I have plenty more coming on the Tesla Model Y. Lots of car reviews coming and some giveaways from hydrosilex.com. If you go to the website and use code Jeebs, you will save 30% off of your order. That's all I have for today. We'll see you in the next video.